viewers, Gary Odom here with a Top Dog video. This is going to cover basic setup of the TDVT New Gen Scan. I think most of you have a general idea how to do that, but maybe it's a confidence issue because I'll get an email, well, I'm not sure I'm getting the right results, and you know, this sort of thing. So if nothing else, maybe this will give you confidence that you're already doing it correctly. If not, then maybe it will help you do it correctly. There's a couple of things that I want to point out while I'm on the chart, and then if I remember, I will talk about it again while I'm under the scan. Sometimes I get carried away. Let's see, there's a couple of ways to get there. One way we can do it is we can click here and maximize the cell and go to this little gear, and I'm going to go back, show you the other way. The other way is you right click here, you go down to style and go up to settings, and you get in the same place. This is what you get after you click on the gear. And since I'm scanning equities, I will go here. In those cases where you found that your volume wasn't showing, you probably had this unchecked. Notice down here, this is about showing data. And really, we could say this is about using data, because that's what it's about. It's whether or not it incorporates extended hours trading into your data. I have it checked to do so. If you wish not to do so, you can do that as well. However, whichever one decide that you want to use, you have to reflect that in your scan as well, because it will make a difference in the scan results. Okay? That's the reason a lot of you guys say it's not working. As long as you have your 50 moving average, SMA, 532, 520, 30, and 20K limit, or other numbers that are exactly the same on the scan and the chart, it will give you same results. All right, here we go. Let's set up a scan. This is pretty straightforward. I'll try not to monkey around too much. Go to this middle hamburger, and I'll call these things hamburgers. And you can load scan query, even though you don't have one to load, because you're not really going to load it. You're going to create one. It's not highly intuitive, but that's the way it is. I'm going to call this a training video. You would probably call it TDVT bullish, like so. Okay, and then we save this, and we're going to save it now, but you could actually continue to add stuff on here, but it's easier if you just save it now and then go up here and go to load and back to personal and go to this one we just created, and then work from this panel. To begin with, it already throws some stock filters up here for you, but you can put your own quite easily. I'll show you. I'm just going to add one more. That's all I need is one more. And I'll go down here to volume, and I want at least 500,000 volume, 500,000. Now, an interesting point, you'll notice that there are more instances at a smaller volume. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to pull this over to this peak in this curve. Okay, which takes this down to 105,000. That's quite a bit of change. But and we have 4,540 symbols. See how it tracks down as I go toward the right. Tracks down. It's very hard to get it back on 500,000, but now we're at half that quantity. That's how important it is to getting your filters to what you want. It really does read those things. It has a lot of sensitivity with it. I want to change this from this to last. I want last price to be no more, in my case, $10. You might want to put 5 or whatever, and I probably want to have a maximum in here of about 500. Even that's kind of pushing it. I do do some high dollar trades, but because of my trade manager, it tells me the number of shares to buy to still be within the amount that I want to invest in that stock. So it's not really an issue. I mean, you can trade $500 a share stock. You might not be buying very many shares, but you still can trade it, and you can still make money doing that. Okay, this is the basic stock filters. Now we want to put in our steady filters, is where the TDVT comes in. This will always come up ADX crossover. Do not be concerned. Just forget about everything that's there. Come over here, and I'm going to select 4 hour, I think. See how it pops up over here on the screen? It's notifying me of when things are added to this scan list that I have in here already. And I'll show you how to do that when I get there. So we want to edit this. Again, go here, click study, click here, and then pull down on this slider. I'll go through that again. I'm going to click it here, and I'm going to go back. It's going to be this way. Click on this arrow, grab this little slider, and it's right here, and pull it all the way to the bottom. When you first come in, it'll be sitting up here. Just grab it, pull it to the bottom. This is what we want, user defined. Now, ignore this. This is a lot of stuff I play with, and I just haven't cleaned it up on this computer. This computer is not one I trade on. It's one I make videos on. Okay, we're going to select our scan. That's what we want. You'll put in your key code and your checksum. I hard-coded mine so I wouldn't waste time on the video. And you say it's true. Remember, it's true. Safe. Okay, now what? Well, let's scan and see what it does. Hey, got fewer, but do we want all of these? Don't know. You know what? It might be that some of these are just going to be not good trades because we don't know anything except what's happening on the 4-hour chart. I would like to know at least what is the moving average of the larger chart. Wouldn't you? I think so. Go back to study. This is simple, guys. I mean, really simple. Do custom. Go edit. Click on here just like we did before. Click on study. And I told you it was simple. So just type simple. Well, there it is. Simple moving average. And put a 50 in there. I know, that was kind of corny. I know. But we must get through life. And we want it to be greater than what? Well, simple again. $50, yeah. Well, any person with a modicum of intelligence will know that 50 is not larger than 50, nor is 50 larger than 50. So Gary, you really screwed up. Yeah, I know. I always do that. What I want you to do is after you do that, you go to the ThinkScript editor and you put this in. 3 keystrokes. This little straight-sided bracket, the number 1, and a straight-sided bracket. You just wrote code. What that means is this means 1 bar ago. So if you read this as the way it's read, the simple moving average in the 50 length SMA is greater on this bar than the simple moving average 50 SMA was on the previous bar. So in other words, the moving average is slanting up. If you were doing a bearish trade, you do exactly the same, except this would read is less than, and that's one of your choices as well. So there you go. Let's do a little scan. We have 13. We have 19 of 19. Let's see what happens. We drop 8 of them. Apparently 8 of those had a downtrend, so that was not a good thing. So now we like to review these, from time to time and see what's going on. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. Let's just take old, let's do it on the bottom here, whatever that is. Oh, that's waste management. And you go down here and you can send it to the color that you assign to your charts. I use lilac because it's right there. I don't have to mess around. And you go to the charts, and there it is. But then you want to do the other one, then you have to go back to scan and go down and do it. And this could get really troublesome. So the first thing we want to do is we made some changes here. Is we want to save what we did. Okay? Save it. Yeah, override it. Now, I want you to come down here and click on this little plus sign, or you can use a watch list that you already have up here. But we're going to create a new one just in case you don't have one. And you click on that and you go to personal. And you go down in personal and you go to that name that you provided for it. And there it is. And there it is. It just fills in and it will constantly track things as you go. So you can just leave here and just go through these as you wish. Oh, it's not working. No, it's not. Because even though you signed a color here, you didn't assign one here. So now let's try it. And of course it works. Okay, now what I'd like to do, you know that little alert that popped up on the screen earlier that I pointed out to you? It also sends an alert to my cell phone. I'd like to do that with this. How do I do that? Well, let's just left click on that and just tell us to alert it when the scan results change. Now create that alert. It's done. And you probably will not get a signal because unless you go up here to your setup, you go to applications and notifications, unless you have this data completed, your email and your cell phone number, and confirm them, then it's not going to happen. So you need to do that as well. Okay, I think I covered all the bases. The next step is for you to go make money. So that's all I have for you today, guys. I'll see you on the other side.